Please welcome to the stage Her Excellency Laura Chinchilla, co-chair of the Concordia Leadership Council, and Thomas Bach of the International Olympic Committee.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. And President Bach, welcome to the Concordia Summit stage. It is a pleasure to have you here among us. President Bach doesn't need much introduction. I will only say that he is an Olympic gold medalist in fencing and one of the most influential sport leaders of the last decades. He was elected president of the IOC in 2013 and reelected for a second term in 2021. So, Mr. President, when I had the honor to be elected as a member of the IOC that was in 2019. You kindly invite the new members to lunch with you, and during that gathering, I remember asking you about your primary concerns regarding the future of the Olympic movement. In your response, you mentioned two issues, geopolitics and technology. But at that moment, no one could imagine what will happen a year later with the pandemic. Under your leadership, you managed to successfully overcome the huge challenges posed by the pandemic, and that was instrumental for the Tokyo 2020 and Beijing 22 games to take place. However, the geopolitical landscape has become increasingly complex, and technology continues evolving by leaps and bounds. So my first question to you is, how well prepared will you leave the organization to face both geopolitics and technological developments?
How much time do you have?
I have two more questions.
These are indeed still two major questions. While, with regard to technology, we can, in the meantime, say that it's more about the opportunities than about the challenges. At the time there when we spoke in 2019 with regard to technology, it was not very clear how we could stand the fight for the leisure time with the young generation, right. With their video gaming and e-games and the slowly growing e-sport. And now there we are in a much better position. We have embraced this development and have made many efforts to bring our values and also to bring the necessity of physical activity to the world of e-games. And this resulted in a number of events we have organized with them, and now from next year on we will have Olympic e-sport games. That means that now it's not about anymore so much about the competition. It's more about the opportunity to have direct access to this part of the young generation as well. When it comes to geopolitics, how can you be prepared?
Not even the United Nations.
That is very hard to predict. But I think also in this respect, we have created a base with the success of the Olympic Games Paris 2024, where despite all the geopolitical tensions, despite all the too many wars going on, we managed to have the athletes from all of these countries assembled in Paris and competing peacefully against each other. And we managed, in the run-up to Paris, to convince all these countries and national Olympic committees to send their athletes there. And this message, I think, has resonated very well with the world.
Without doubt.
Because we can see that more than half of the world's population has been following these games and has received this message, what we can also see from all the many letters, responses, comments we have received. So I think the mission of the Olympic Games to unite is our key mission, and the people have understood that the more division we have, the more people are longing for something what unites us, and the Olympic Games can offer. So in this way, we are prepared to get this message across also in the upcoming, I'm afraid, even more geopolitical tensions we will all have to face.
Yes, well, going to the Paris Games, and I am sure that most of you were connected to those games at some point. We, and not only we, I mean, everybody recognized that they were a great success, not only in terms of some media has put it, because of detailed planning and execution, but because of the reasons that you mentioned. The Games brought a message of peace, harmony, and joy to all corners of the world. And that was a big contrast with what is happening in terms of geopolitics, politics, and many other issues full of controversies. But for many people, and I have realized that, learning about some concrete aspects of the Olympics, such as the efforts in terms of legacy, sustainability, or the paritarian participation of female athletes, was very surprising. They were discovering something new in the Games, because probably they don't know that Paris 2024 was the culmination of a gradual process of change that was inspired by the Agenda 2020, adopted in 2014, and by the Agenda 20+5. So my next question is, to what extent these agendas that you put in place set the strategic vision and the roadmap shaping the Olympic movements in the last years and for the years to come?
We had seen at the very beginning of my mandate that the Olympic Games were somehow decoupled from the development of society. You know, it was about gender, it was about sustainable development, it was about education, it was about legacy. The discussion about the Games was more about white elephants and huge amounts of money being spent and monuments being erected. And so we had to change this, and we tried to change it. And what we saw in Paris was that this program was coming to life for the first time. And we were working with Paris there for 9 years already at the time of the candidature to develop together what we have then seen becoming reality in Paris. That means, you mentioned it, gender parity. That means, with regard to sustainability, cutting the carbon emissions by half compared to the previous Olympic Games. That means the urbanization of sport, meaning that we with the sport have to go where the people are. You cannot wait anymore building a stadium somewhere and say, here we are organizing a very nice event, please come. They don't come, so we have to go where the people are, and this gives also the advantage that by doing this you can benefit from existing or temporary facilities, meaning reduction of carbon emissions, again on the one hand, and there are also meaning that you get closer to the spectators, that they can really have a much more immersive experience, and that then you have no white elephants because these temporary facilities, their logistics is allowing this today. They are gone 2 days later, and they are serving another sport event on another cultural event on another continent a week later. And all this was initiated by the Olympic agenda at the time, and so I think we are very happy to see it coming to life and making out of a paper, of a project, an idea, a reality which was apparently pretty much appreciated.
Of course. It sounds very easy, but for those of you who doesn't know exactly about this, the governance scheme of the Olympic movement is very complex. So aligning all those actors, international sport federations, all the national Olympic committees, more than 200, is something hard. So I'm sure that it was thanks to your leadership, among other things. Something else that I would like to highlight here is that by the end of the Paris Games, you informed the members of the Olympic Committee that you wouldn't present your candidacy for a second re-election, although you are very well esteemed among all the members of the IOC. You decided not to seek for a third term and instead respect the rules of the Olympic Charter. As a politician, I must say that what a lesson you teach to many political leaders who never step aside, particularly in my region, Latin America. But a few months before you leave office, what will you say is your main legacy, and what advice will you give to your successor?
The first part of the question is not up to me to comment, and I still have 9 months, so give me still some time to create maybe some legacy or some more legacy, and then we will see. This is for others to comment. But the advice I can give is, the lessons you learn as an athlete, and this anyway has helped me. My experience as an Olympic athlete has helped me during all my term. So there is one, you never give up. If you have a plan, if you have a project, and it's not going to materialize with the first attempt, you try again and you try again until you finally succeed. And what is also very much important is stay true to the values and the mission of the Olympic movement, even if the winds are blowing hard into your face. And then, don't try to have any short-term positive comments from here or there. Go your way, protect the values, and explain why these values are important. And then hopefully you will be so lucky as we have been in Paris that then the world is realizing how important they really are in this divisive world, that we need something what unifies us, what brings us joy, what brings us hope. And these athletes have been showing in Paris with full respect of each other, living peacefully together in the Olympic Village. The Israeli and the Palestine athletes, the Ukrainian and the athletes with the Russian passport, and with all the 55 conflicts of the world. They were all there, no incident, everybody respecting the rules and each other. And I think this is worthwhile all the efforts, and I hope that my successor will have the same success that we had in Paris.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I know that there were going to be many people talking about your legacy, and I'm sure that it's going to be a very positive judge. And there is no doubt that your legacy will transform the Olympic movement for good and forever. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.